Hi, John. I think we're live now.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Designer Show. Here we are on this lovely Friday in October already. Can you believe it's October already? Um,
Yeah,
Colors changing all at all up north, John? You're up north, right?
they are. Where were we the other day? Oh, we went for a bike ride at Itasca State Park, and the colors were really cool.
Oh, nice.
Not quite,
Yeah,
they weren't even close to peak yet, but it was still looking pretty nice in there on the
cool.
bike
Yeah,
trails.
I'm in southern Minnesota right now, visiting my mother-in-law with my wife, and colors are starting to turn here too. But God, it's been just gorgeous. I mean, it was almost 90 yesterday in Minnesota down here.
Yeah.
It was really nice. All right, we got Aaron. Hi, Aaron from Florida and sometimes California, and we got Todd from Portland. Cool. And it looks like we got about 18, 17. We got a few people logging in, so we'll give people another minute or two to log in, and we'll get started. We're just going to have some fun. And I don't know, I threw a bunch of topics on the wheel of whatever you
Hey,
want to
Scott.
call it. Scott Stubbs, how you doing? John and I were just talking about you. I hear your father passed away, and my condolences. That's tough.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to you about that at the summit. So welcome to our show today. Hopefully we can add a little levity for you today. Um, Harry from Pennsylvania. Hello, hello. Cody from Texas. Victor, there's Victor. Hey, Victor. Look forward to seeing you next week
Yeah.
in our class. So awesome. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get started, John. I do not. Oh, hey, Cassidy. Long time no talk. The right place for now. Taylor Swift album discussion group. Huh? I think you're in the wrong group. Uh,
Robin's not here.
uh, yeah.
Robin's a big Taylor Swift fan, so but she's
Oh,
not here
okay.
today.
Yeah, I love Taylor Swift too, but I'm not going to join the discussion group. Um, let's see. What do we got? I suppose let's get started.
Okay.
Thanks. Been a rough year. Looking forward to the show. Good, Scott. Thanks for being here. But feel free to call anytime, by the way, if you want to chat. A couple of quick things. Let me go ahead and do the. I don't have the right menus up here. Now here we'll do this one. Procademy is now available. So we just had our first live session on this last Wednesday, a few days ago, and it was really a lot of fun. We started out the morning with some Q&A. Uh, then we did a chief. We did an hour, a little over an hour in our chief presentation, where we spent most of that time talking about the chief's new project manager. And I tell you, I've been working with it a bunch this week, and I'm really liking it. I'm liking a lot of what it does. It's one of those things you get used to it, and when you start discovering what it can do, it's pretty cool. So I'd love some of your guys' feedback on that too. Let me know how you're liking it if you're using the new project manager, and if you're not, and if you're using it the way that you've always done, stored your plans with Chief, that's great too. There's really no wrong decision here. So we can talk a little bit about that too, and we'll talk more about that in the Pro Academy.
So
In the
just off the top
afternoon,
of your head, Dan, what's one thing you really like about the new project manager?
I like how when I bring in an old project from and I use the layout, it brings everything in, all the other plans, all of the assets. So when you bring it in using, when you open the plan using the layout, it automatically brings all that stuff in and keeps it as a new project. And it's quite nice because you don't notice all of those extra files that you always get when you do, previous way when you did the plan backup and you had that folder and you had 5,000 pictures of
Yep.
stuff in there with the
Yep.
siding and all that. Uh, I brought in a big one that I'll show. Um, when else am I going to show that? Oh, I might bring that up today here even, but I'm going to show it in the class next week that we're doing in
Okay.
Bloomington. And it really worked well. I was really pleased how it worked. And just the way you can move things around. And I like that the templates are right there. And if you want to edit a template, poof, it's right there. You edit it, so you're done.
Okay.
Uh, I think that's really nice. So that was more than one thing, John. So there you
Okay.
go.
Cool.
Yeah. And And then let's see, on Wednesday afternoon, we talked about terrain. We got into that quite a bit and noticed that there's some new things in Chiefs X17 that are pretty cool. And then in the evening, what did we talk about last Wednesday evening? I don't remember. I got
I
the
think we
report.
just pretty much shot the breeze about chief stuff and business stuff.
Yeah, we did talk about business a little bit. So it was really fun. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. We'll do that twice a month, and we'll see where it goes from there. So join us. There's tons of other content in the Pro Academy too. So check it out. There's a little video on the sales page, I think. I'll have to check that. I'm not sure if that got added, but check it out. It's available and it's fun. Um, we'd love to have you as part of the Pro Academy. We're all about helping you in your design business, not just chief architect, but we want to help you really be successful in your design business or in the design part of your business as a contractor. So design is the most important part of any job. If you have a bad design, you're going to have a bad project, right, John?
That's right. Or a difficult one, at
Or
the least.
yeah, you'll have mistakes and you'll have pissed off clients and you'll have this and that going on. So I don't know. I've always found that if I do a better job on the plan, my projects go a lot better. Anyway, enough of that stuff. So join us, and then you may have noticed we did sell out our class here this month, but we're going to open up another one on December 1 through 4 in Bloomington as well. So if you didn't make this one, please check us out. We'd love to have you in December. We're looking
So
forward
save
to
the
that.
date. Save the
Save the
date.
date. And, we'll
December
get this
1st to the 4th.
Yeah, we'll get this updated soon. And John and I are looking forward to our new setup. We're going to be doing some large screen TVs instead of projectors. And we taught with large screen TVs before, and the experience is so much better. It's just amazing. So we're looking forward to that. So anyway, for those that are coming, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And let's get back into the designer show. You got anything you want to add, John, before I move on?
I think we're good to go.
Good to go. All right, cool. So where am I? Spin the old wheel. I've added 14 topics to spin the wheel, and some you guys may know about, some may not, but let's just go ahead and spin it, see where we land. We haven't done this for a while, so it's
Well,
been kind of fun.
while Dan's spinning that, we basically just do the spin of the wheel sometimes to come up with topics to talk about. So if anybody's got any questions or topics they want to talk about Chief today, make sure you put it in the comments.
Bet. Yeah, bet. So there's so many. I mean, we could go on and on forever talking about Chief, and as you guys already know that, and as we already do, we could pick out any. We could talk about the project manager for hours, but we're going to talk about double callouts. Have you ever had double callouts? So when you're working on a project, and let's do a door schedule quick or a window schedule. Anytime you do a schedule, so let's pop in a quick schedule here. And so we got a door schedule on the first floor, and then I'm going to paste a door schedule on the second floor. And when we go look at the callouts, you'll see we get double callouts. And you go, why does that happen, John?
I know. It happens because you have two schedules.
I have two schedules. And what's the key thought for that? Two of the exact same schedules.
Exactly.
Okay. So, and keep in mind, but now I'm actually surprised I didn't get double callouts right away because I do have a door schedule in the CAD detail management. So we used to get double callouts with that, and surprised that I didn't this time. I wonder if they did something in Chief where if you put a schedule in the CAD detail window, and I'm not going to dig into that right now, it just doesn't do double schedules automatically. I don't know. So, but anyway, in this way, where I have the schedules on the plan, all we have to do in this case is, well, first of all, why would you want two of the same schedules in your plan? Well, in this case, maybe I want a schedule for the first floor doors and windows and a schedule for the second floor doors and windows. So all you have to do is go into the defaults for your schedules, and under general, you'll have this thing right here where it says include objects from all floors. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to just do, on this schedule, I want the doors for the second floor. And there's lots of other options here. Schedules in Chief are phenomenal. You can do just about anything. In fact, I don't even have any doors on this floor. So let me put a wall in and add some doors. Um, so there you go. So now we've got two different doors in the schedule. And we still have the double callouts. So let's go back down to this one, because this one is still set to include everything from all floors. And this one, we want to include just the first floor. Okay. And then click OK. And now we got rid of the double callouts. And we got it here and here. Although I'm just seeing something. I am getting the double callouts in this.
Right. So your other schedule you'd have set up to labels, not callouts.
Yes, exactly. So let's go look at that. Actually, let's just delete that. Let's see if that goes away. Go back to our plan. And there we go. I lost the schedule. I lost the call out. I like the call out as part of the label instead of a call out like this. That's just my preference. So here's just a plain call out for the door. So now we got a door call out for each floor. So it did pick up that schedule in the CAD detail window.
Right. So what if I want to? So what if I want the same schedule to be on two different pages of the layout?
Well, I didn't have that one on the wheel, but let's talk about that. So if you open the layout, so if actually, let me just hit send to layout here. I'm going to hit send to layout, and Chief will create a layout for this automatically. It'll put it in the same project that I have the plan in. So now that's part of that. So here's that schedule. And so if you want to have that schedule on another page, you're not going to send it. You're not going to have two schedules in there, one for each thing. Just copy that. All I did was hit Control C, and then I'll just crop over this. So now I can.
What I was hoping you would show us, Dan, is that you put the schedule in a CAD detail and send the CAD detail to the layout instead of putting the schedule on the plan.
Well, that's true too. That's another option. Beauty of Chief, a lot of ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So if I would have done what John said and left the schedule in the CAD detail where I would have a door schedule, and then I could just send that to the layout separately on any page that I want to, without having the floor plan attached to it. So good point.
Yep.
All right, back to that. Any questions on that?
Nope.
I thought of that one because I had a client that asked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's your answer. You guys using schedules out there? What do you not like about them? What's this benefit of using
the CAD detail file? The benefit is that you can send it to the layout by itself and position it on the layout anywhere you want to, regardless of what the plan is, where the plan's sitting.
Right. So let me go. Let's do that again. Let me do this. Let me send the floor. Well, I've already got a floor plan on the layout. Here's the layout. So I've got a viewport on the layout. All I need is one viewport. I don't need anything else. So let's just make a copy of this. Let me get rid of this. Let's make a copy of this viewport and put it here and open its dialog, and let's relink it to something else. Let's relink it to a CAD detail window. I just love what they've done with this. And I'm going to do the window schedule. I got rid of my door schedule. So there I am. So now I have a window schedule independent of any floor plans or anything like that. I could copy and paste that and put that on any plan, any floor, any page of my layout. So that works really nice.
So now with the new project management, when we start a new project, are those CAD details with the schedules in them staying as part of the project?
Absolutely. So every plan, when it's in a project, so let's get here. So here's the designer show. So let's go to the plan where it has all of these different things. I don't even need to send it to the layout anymore. I could just go here and I think I can just drag it there. And there's my window schedule. I didn't even have to send it to the layout. I can just go here, and any of these things that you see in the project browser now for the plan, I can just drag out onto the screen and put them there. Now, there's reasons you'd want to do that and reasons you wouldn't want to do that. So if you have a bunch of windows fixed in place, you don't want to be dragging things onto the screen all the time. You want to just click on a window that's fixed in place, open its dialog, and relink it to something in that list. And that keeps that window in the same place. Then you don't have to move it around all the time. So it's just so really cool how you have both options now in X17.
So you just
And
drug that CAD detail onto the layout?
that's what I did. Just go
Really?
here, grab that detail, and just drag it right there. And there it is. It's going to open this box. What size do you want it? Done. You do that with anything,
Yeah,
floor plans, 3D cameras, you name it.
that's pretty sweet.
Isn't that nice? So one of the nice things about doing it in the CAD detail window is now this call out for that schedule could be related to. Well, I wouldn't necessarily need to do that on a sheet like on the window schedule, but I would want to do it for an elevation of the house or kitchen elevation, something like that, where I'm going to use a different call out on there. But that'd be attached to that kind of view already. So if I went into a cross-section view and let me try this real quick and drag it on there, click OK. And what's my label on that? There it is. Yeah, so I've got the wrong kind of call out on there. So Chief's got the default setting for that. So I would need to open this and go to the label and switch it to use call out. And then it's going to put the number. So this is call it number A. So when I go, and I'm also going to need to switch it to plot lines instead of that because it was rendered. So now when I go back to my floor plan and look at that label, it's going to have that view is on it's number A on page 1. And if I move that elevation to a different page, the page number here on my floor plan updates automatically. Very sweet how that works. So, okay. Schedules are an extra.
He charges, it's a profit center for him to make the schedules.
Well, your profits just went up and your time just went down.
Yep.
Because chief schedules are phenomenal. And they're going to, once you get them set up, you can save them and you can save them in the library now. So I could go to this CAD detail where I saved that window schedule. You could have, all sorts of different kinds of schedules. And once you create one, you can click on it and you can now save them in your library. So if you have different kinds of window schedules, you could put them in your library. And when you have the plan you need, pop it right into your plan.
You can also, in the project manager now, make a hierarchy of files too. So you could have in your CAD details, you could have a CAD detail subfolder for window schedules or just schedules.
Yep.
And then have all your schedules underneath that, and then other details under like foundation details could be in another spot. Instead of just having one big long list, you can have a hierarchy there to sort them out quicker.
Yeah. Anyway, very cool. So Chief's doing a phenomenal job on all of their schedules. Let me close some of these windows. Let's go spin up our wheel again. That topic, which I thought would take a moment, we managed to drag it out for almost 15 minutes. Way to go, John.
There you go.
See, we're good at that. Let's see, where'd my wheel go? Here it is. All right.
So that's another question. Schedules and library and details versus library. Can we export details now?
Export them. What do you mean?
Like to export them from one plan to another. Can we do that? Is that an option now? I thought I heard that it was, but I haven't checked it out.
Export them a detail. Export it.
So go to file and to export. Does it give us an opportunity to do CAD details at all?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've seen that option.
Or maybe it was just saving them. And maybe they'll save in a template now and they didn't before or something. I don't remember what it was, but there was something that seemed like it was going to make it easier. So like a schedule,
Oh,
instead of sending it to the library to save it and use it again, you could just save it in a CAD detail and it would be there
well,
to be used.
I mean, sure, you should be able to just, click on that, hit Control C, and go to your other plan and paste it in there, and it'll pick up all of the stuff for the new plan.
And
So if I
and
go,
maybe it's
so if I go here and I go, paste that now I'm picking up the windows for this plan for this floor.
right.
So yeah, I mean, absolutely. Um, you can also, one of the things I've learned about Chief is you can have a thing called common documents. And I don't know if this, but you might be able to put a schedule there that you could use to populate different plans. But got to keep in mind, if you use a common document in more than one plan and you change it, it's going to change it in all the plans you put it in. At least that's what I've read.
Yeah.
I think it'd be safer to store in a library and then use it from library or copy and paste it from one plan to another.
I guess the thing to find out would be if when you make a template now, if all these CAD details would stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if
Because
they
part of
stay,
your templates are going to
yeah,
include anything that you put in the CAD detail window.
yeah, because when they first made it so that you could save schedules in the library, it was kind of a pain. You still had to go make the CAD detail or put them in the plan or whatever,
Right.
But now, if you don't have to do that, that saves another ton of time.
3D text. You using 3D text at all?
I've looked at it a little bit. I haven't done much with it.
Okay. Um, 3D text, it's a little confusing because if you go into 3D text and you want to put some in your plan, so let's click on the one with the leader line. And I've got mine set up to use plain text in the text with the leader line, and that's a preference setting. So when I go to preferences and I go to text, um, I've turned the create rich text off when I'm using leader lines. So it just uses plain text. And the reason I do that, if I change the scale of my drawing from an eighth to a quarter to eighth, or a quarter to half, whatever, the text size changes automatically. If I use rich text, the text does not change automatically. There's some pluses and minuses for that. I'll show you one of the minuses. So when you're adding 3D text, what you're going to do is, you see how that little circle kind of goes on these different surfaces? So if I want to add text for one of those cabinets, say I'm going to click on the front of the cabinet. And so before you draw the arrow, you have to click on the surface that you want the text to be attached, the arrow to be attached to. So if I click here and I click the front of the cabinet, see how that plane comes up even with the front of the cabinet? And so now I'm going to draw my text following that plane. And do I have that set up wrong? Let me just put some text in here. And yeah, I've got the wrong text scale going there. Why is that? That's too big. What did I get for text size? Oh, it's 4.5. Why does it seem so big? It says it's 4.5-inch text. Huh. I don't know. When it's not attached to the cabinet. Why didn't it attach to the cabinet? Let's try that again. So, rich plain text. Draw my arrow. 1, 2. Type some text. Click OK. And still not attached to the front of the cabinet. Well, what am I doing wrong, John?
I have no idea.
Text. Anybody on the call know what I'm doing wrong? Because I don't. This has always worked for me before.
Do you have to select the cabinet first?
No, you can't. When you click the text icon, you can't select the cabinet. I
saw you
use
select
that.
the cabinet at one point, but you might have unselected it.
Yeah, I did. But I can use the surface.
Is there an offset or something you have set?
I don't think so. It's just not working. Okay, well,
Try putting it on the wall once.
I'll have to look into that. I did this before and it worked fine.
I saw you do it the other day, and it seemed like it worked.
Huh. Well, there we go. We've got utter failure happening today. Anybody got a idea? What am I doing wrong? I just did this yesterday and it worked great. Let's try the side of the cabinet. Let me go there. Okay. Text, click, bring it up, over. And I thought I adjusted my text yesterday. No. Okay. Well, I shouldn't have put that one on the
Bill
wheel
says to
today.
spin the wheel.
That's it. I was just saying I shouldn't have put that one on the wheel today. All right. We'll spin the wheel. If anybody has any idea why that's going on wrong, let me know. I will dig into it. Custom temporary dimensions. This I like a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to hide that choice. So custom temporary dimensions means that no matter what view you're in, so it used to be that when you'd click on something, then you would get these temporary dimensions in all previous versions before X17. They didn't have this in 16, I don't think. No.
No.
You would you'd only have one available setting for these temporary dimensions. So it's either surface or framing or interior or number size, arrow size. Now we have all of these different the temporary dimensions are now part of the dimension type that you're setting up for your different kinds of views. So here's your setup temporary dimension option now for that view. So I could set this up to turn, to have different kinds of things at a dimension temporarily. So for example, if I double click on the locate interior, right now it's going to locate the main layer inside and it's not going to pick up anything else when I do my temporary dimensions using that tool. And see how it's going the wrong side of the wall there though. But it's not going to pick up any windows or doors or anything like that. Yeah, it should be on the inside of that wall, shouldn't it?
So what happens if you do select a door in that? Does it give you, what's it do for the temporary dimension then?
Let's go turn it on and see. So let's go here and let's go to our temporary dimensions for interior and let's go to our openings and turn the centers on.
No. That's not what I meant. Leave
No?
it set the way it is.
Okay.
But instead of selecting a wall, select a door and see where the temporary dimension goes to.
Oh, select here.
Yeah.
So there it's going to the center window. So that's not going to pick up because all right. It's selecting those things and it's not the walls because
Okay.
that's not going to select doors because we don't have doors turned on for that. So she's not going to be able to do what I want to do.
I know the dimension won't pick up the door, but what happens? What's the temporary dimension do if you select the door instead of the wall?
Does that.
It goes from door to window.
Yeah. And here it's picking
Switches
it up
it to
there.
openings.
So personally, I don't use temporary dimensions. I'm always drawing my dimensions in. So if I'm going to draw an interior dimension, I'm going to use my hotkey DI and I'm going to draw a dimension over the walls. I have my hotkey set up for dimension interior, and then I use DE a lot for dimension end to end. And then I'm just going to pop my dimensions onto the different things that I want. So I like dimensioning that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that works for me. All right, let's move on. Anybody come up with that 3D text thing?
So basically what the new temporary dimensions do, it's something we couldn't do in previous versions, is you can set it up to measure the surfaces in one save plan view and to main layer in
Right.
another save plan view.
So if I go to my as-built measuring plan and I turn on and I go into that and can I group select these? Nope, I can only do one. So what I would end up doing on my temporary dimensions is I'd set it to surface, which is what I should do anyway, which just reminds me I need to do that.
Yes, Dan, we want this template to be perfect for this class.
Get it? All right, so now when I click on my walls, I'm going to surface instead of framing with my temporary. And speaking of that, I'm going to go to my template and I'm going to go open that template right now, hit open. and I'm going to go into that template. Come on. It's thinking. Okay, there we go. There's two settings I want to make. So I'm going to go into that. So this is how you can, if you're working on something, you want to change your template real quick and you have the project management turned on, it's right there all the time ready for you. So I'm going to go into my as-built measuring, and I'm going to click on here and double click on the ruler, go to set up temporary and set that to surface right now, and I'm done. So I just updated my template. And the other thing I wanted to do was set up my 1/4 inch. I had turned off my setup automatic. I turned off my auto refresh in my template. So I need to turn that back on. Done. So I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit save and close my template. Now my template's up to date. So the next time I create a new plan, those changes will be there. So that's a really nice thing about having the templates right here in your project browser. All right, let's go spin up the wheel again.
And you didn't even open that template. You just did it right from the
No, it
project.
opened. Yeah, I went to, I didn't have to go find a plan on my hard drive to
Okay.
open it. I
Right.
just opened the template from the project browser because that's where it's stored.
Okay.
So let me spin that up. What do I got here? 3D rebuild model changes. All right, I threw this on there because I'm mad about this. All right, we were talking about this the other day, and you know how when you have a plan that's a larger plan and you start getting a ton of surfaces in it. See, where is that plan? Like this plan here, I've got a lot going on in this plan, and every time I want to do something, it's going to rebuild the 3D model every time. All right, so back in X16, let me just open that real quick and I'll show you guys. So this is, and you know, as I thought about this, I do believe we did talk about this in Coeur d'Alene back in August.
Yeah, I think we did too.
Yeah, so I kind of forgot about that. Let's just go open a new plan here in X16. And in X16, when you clicked on the 3D menu and hit 3D view defaults down here, you had an option to turn off the auto build of walls, floors, and ceilings. Because every time you do something to your model, anything, you open a wall and close this dialog, Chief's going to regenerate the 3D automatically for everything in that entire model. Well, when you go to X17 now, and you go look at that same menu, oops, that's not what I want. 3D, view default, it's gone. And I went, no, because I use that a lot. I'll turn off the auto rebuild, then I'll work on my plan, and then I'll hit F12 to regenerate everything. And I was wondering, well, why did you turn that off? I don't remember what he told us. You?
Well, what I found when I Googled it yesterday was, or the other day, was that you have to do it per object class, like the walls. You can turn off the auto rebuild there. You can turn off the auto rebuild for roofs. You can turn it off individually. So if that's the case, which I haven't had a chance to check out yet, but if that's the case, it's actually a good thing, because then I can build on my roofs and turn that off so they don't rebuild when I'm not working on them. But I can leave the walls turned on to rebuild automatically.
That's different though. And walls don't have any automatic rebuild of walls.
Maybe it wasn't. There was something. I don't remember all the details. But
so what you might be talking about was, so if I go into the roof defaults, you could turn on auto rebuild roofs, right? And we use that for a while to get our roofs started, and then we turn it off. But that doesn't have anything to do with regenerating the 3D model.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's going to add new roofs, but the 3D model is going to keep regenerating no matter what. So anyway,
right.
So you guys, if you're using that, turning the 3D model rebuild off, and now you're wondering why it doesn't work in X17, it's not there anymore. And I don't know why.
We still have the button, the tool to rebuild 3D.
I know. Why?
So I'm hoping somewhere they made it so that you can make it so it doesn't do it automatically.
We've got this right here. And well, we'll have to dig into that. If
Like
anybody knows,
terrain has a rebuild thing that you can turn on and off, so we could just hopefully hit that button and it would rebuild the terrain.
true, terrain's got that. So you could auto rebuild terrain on and off. That one works great. Okay,
Yep.
use that all the time. But I don't know any other way to turn the 3D model off.
We'll have to do some
building.
more research into that.
Anyway, if we find something out, we'll tell you about it next time. Or if anybody here knows about that, tell us.
Put it in the
We'd love to know.
comments and we'll check it out.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's spin up something else.
And Dan was pretty upset about that, you guys. You
That
should
gave
have
me
heard
a
him.
chance. You gave me a chance to vent, so thanks. Oh, look at that.
And now you want to do it again.
I am so mad about it, it came up again. I forgot to hide that choice. I was upset. No, I wasn't that upset. I was just more confused.
I'm having fun with it.
More confused than anything. Well, John, you know this one better than I do, so you get to talk about it.
You just run the program and we can talk about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So I got a house here. I got a little terrain perimeter around it. And if I bring up a 3D view, we're going to see that terrain perimeter. And so when we open the dialog for the terrain in X17, we used to have this here where we would set the reference from the surface of the top of the floor plywood to where the terrain is. And right now it's 12 and 5/8 apart. And we could still do that. That'd be fine. And we could do that from a reference point. All right. And again, this is still, we were just talking about this Wednesday and trying to figure out what all this does. So when we click on, so go ahead.
So go back to that panel.
Okay.
So you can still do it kind of the same way instead of from a reference point. If you just hit the down arrow there and go to
contour 0,
elevation 0. Now instead of telling you the difference between the two, it's telling you the relationship of the two.
Right.
So the terrain in that one is negative 12 inches or whatever it is below 0.
Right.
Before you would put a positive number in there to make the terrain go down.
Just to set, yeah. So now they're actually taking, so it's just like contour 0 means the 0-inch floor height of the model.
Yep.
Because that's everything is measured from the 0-inch floor height on floor 1. So the terrain is 12 and 5/8 inches lower than that. So if I make this 6 feet, minus 6 feet, now it's going to lower the terrain 6 feet lower than the top of the plywood. So that's kind of the way it always used to be, other than you type you do type a negative number now. Because I always told people, don't this number you would put here, you don't use minus, you just put in the separation amount. And now they're actually going from 0. But if we use a reference point, and now it's saying that, and so let's go ahead and create that walkout again real quick. Let me tile my display here and turn off this and go back to the floor plan and drop in a couple of, we're going to put in a region, elevation region. We'll put one here and we'll put one back here, and we'll open the dialog for this one and make it minus 8 feet. And so that'll make a hill going down from the front to the back 8 feet, right? Just like that. Okay. So now if we put that reference point in, we have a little new icon down here. Well, here it says delete reference. No, that's what will come up after we put it in. Where'd it go?
Did you have to do that from the?
No, we did it from the 3D yesterday or the other day. Let's try it. Let's try it again here. Oh, there it is. I thought we could do it from here. Oh yeah, see, there it is. So you see how it moves on top of the train there. So if I want my reference here to be that number that I put in, so if I open the dialog for the terrain, so there's that first, that's that first point that I put in there. And then I suppose I could adjust these two. I'm still trying to figure out why I need that.
So let's redo your terrain, Dan. I think I might have a way to show this better. So make the terrain, your terrain in the front, pull it, just make it a couple feet wide up at the front of the lot, up at the top.
Up here?
Yeah. And then, and I'll move that to, no, that's not what I mean. Make the terrain perimeter the size that it was. And instead of drawing the front yard or the backyard or whatever it is, so that it's the whole backyard up to the house, just make it the up. Select your terrain elevation data.
Well,
again.
doesn't a lot of this have to do with if you have sea level numbers?
Yes. So I
And
just
your
want to
survey?
show what that point is doing.
That point up
What we
here?
need is the elevation to be higher in the front of the house or the back of the house than the floor height.
Oh, okay. So let's just make this contour here. Instead of making it 0, let's make it 24 inches up.
And then pull it away from the house.
Oh yeah, because it
pull the bottom edge away from the house.
Hang on, there we go.
Like
so
that.
So that's 24 inches higher than the floor 0 now.
All right. So now,
it's 24 inches higher. It's 24 inches higher than 12 and 5 than minus 12 and 5/8.
Yeah. So now put that at 0.
So if we put that at 0, okay,
and say okay.
Okay.
Now let's say you want your sea level height to be your second contour line down from the top. Put it right on that line.
Right there.
Now your floor height is the same elevation as that contour line right there.
Okay.
Because we set that difference at 0.
Well,
right?
Here it says 0 right there.
So there, at that point right there, that reference point and the subfloor of the house on the first floor is at the same elevation.
Okay. Now if I slide that down here, see it's going to move the terrain.
Yep.
So that'd be the 0. That'd be the
whatever elevation that is. It's the same elevation as the house floor, above sea level.
Right. Right. So then I could adjust my contours from that. So I'm still trying to understand that. We'll learn more about that as we go and get into that.
So what'll happen is if they give us a macro that is associated with the terrain that you can click on a floor that's using that terrain point, that elevation point, and the house and all that kind of stuff, if there's a macro that you could click on, then you could put a label on the subfloor, on the main floor, that says this is this high above sea level, finished floor above sea level.
And I'll bet you Rene has one of those.
Which a lot of municipalities require.
Got it. Okay, let's get a little technical on that stuff now. So just camera and walkthrough. Oh, okay. So you guys using walkthroughs at all? The video walkthroughs? So what that means
I don't
is,
use so much.
I guess I'm going to show two things at once. I have another thing on the wheel, so I'm going to show them at the same time. All right. So Chief now allows us to create video walkthroughs really easily and fast. And they're just a tad different in Windows versus Mac. Not much, but we'll start by creating a walkthrough path. That's this icon right here. All right. So it's basically you're going to be drawing some CAD lines. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to say, well, I'm going to start up by going here, and then I'm just going to continue drawing this through. And then, you know what? I'm going to go up to the second floor. All right. So when I go up to the second floor now, there's that camera, and I can continue taking that walkthrough through the second floor.
So it knew you went to the second floor just because you went over the stairs?
Yep. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Yeah. Now I want to set some camera. Right now I've only got one view. But let's turn on. Let's go to view. Let's go turn on our walkthrough preview. And I believe we can turn that on with that icon as well, right there. So yeah, because it's the same icon. Okay, so view walkthrough preview. And that'll open up a side window here. And then you've got a little gear icon down here to be aware of, because you can turn off, if you don't have your keyframe settings, you need those on. And if you want to use less space, go to a horizontal setting, and it'll put some information over here as well. Okay, so you can see a bunch more stuff. I imagine I could pull this off onto another screen and work with it over there. Let's just turn that back. Let's leave it like this. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. All right, so there we go. We've got one keyframe in there, and that's the one going up the steps. I need to add some more keyframes. So I could probably do it. I've never tried it from here. Create camera view from that spot. Oh, okay. What that did is it created a picture of that view. I don't want that. Let's just go back to our floor plan. And I'm going to add some, yeah, it created a camera view, not a keyframe. I'm just going to delete that camera view. I'm going to click on the line here, and I'm going to click on this icon right down here to add some more cameras. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on the push pin to lock that, and I'm just going to drop a bunch of cameras along the line here. Oh, didn't do it. Come on, push pin, do your job. Click, click, click. Now I could take these cameras and I could rotate them. So I get out of that mode, and I could say, oh, I'm going to look at that one here, and I'm going to go here and look more at that, and I'm going to go here and look more at the stairs. And on this camera, I want to kind of pan down on the cabinets. So I'm going to open its dialog, and I'm going to change the angle of that to go not here. Where was that again? Where was that? General right here, tilt angle. So let's go minus 45 degrees. We'll kind of do a bunch. And the other thing I'm going to do with my camera is I'm going to make it physically based. Okay, and I'm going to go define that, and I'm going to turn on DLSS real-time rendering. This is Windows only. It's not a Mac. Mac won't have that setting available, unfortunately. That's an NVIDIA type function that they've added in Chief Architect. So you have to have a NVIDIA RTX card, I believe, in your computer for that to work. And then you could set your samples a little higher or lower. With the DLSS, it makes it go really fast. You'll see what I mean here in just a little bit. So I could, any of these settings that are on the screen, I can adjust for that camera or the whole string. Now I could go back upstairs. Let's see, can I add a keyframe along the stairway here? I can. All right, so let's say I want to look over here while I'm going up the stairs. Now let's go up to the second floor, and I could continue adding some cameras in there, and just keep, again, hit that icon, hit the icon, and hit the push pin, and then I could add those cameras along. So I'm not going to do a bunch more. I'm just going to get this started. Okay, so now I could kind of go down here, and I can see where I'm headed with my cameras by just doing the scroll bar down here. I think that's really cool. So it makes it really easy to set this up and see what you're looking at. All right, so I've got it where I want it. Now I'm ready to record this. So I'm going to click that little green button here. No, I'm sorry, the green button is to play. The red button is to record the walkthrough. See how it says record walkthrough down here? So I'm going to go ahead and record the walkthrough. I could set the resolution. If I'm going to just do low res, set it there. If you want to do higher, just keep in mind that the higher the resolution, the bigger your file size is going to be. I'm just going to keep it at the lowest. You can set your compression. The number of frames is 15 per second. Of movies, 30 per second. We probably don't need 30 per second in this. And then I'm just going to hit. I'm going to browse where I want to place it. So I'm going to create a new one, and I could either save it to the Chief Cloud, and I can also save it to my disk, my computer, to create a movie file. So I can select where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to put it in my temp folder, and I'll call it sample walkthrough, 2, and I'll hit save, and then I'll click OK. So now it's going to go to my disk and the cloud. I'm going to hit save, and it's making the walkthrough now. You see how fast this goes? Boom, 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 boom. That's the DLSS.
This part, I think, will go fast in anything.
The Mac's going to be slower.
The next step that slows down.
The Mac's going to be slower.
The next step that slows down, or was it that one?
It's done now. I'm done recording that.
All right.
All right. If I want to go play it back, I can hit this button right here. Well, let's go find the file, actually. So let's do two things. First of all, you see, look, I get a little pop-up down here. Normally that pops up in the middle of the screen, but I'm going to click on the link. Don't click the X, click the link. And that will open up the Chief Architect browser, and then here's that walkthrough I just created. All right, let's see what it looks like. You know, I don't know if I add some lights in there, but this is just like I could now send a link to my client and they could go watch this from here. So let's go see what that looks like. Let's hit play, and there's that walkthrough. Yeah, my lighting's really bad, so I need to adjust my lighting. But I just
Well, you
did
weren't
this.
teaching about lighting, Dan. You were teaching about.
I
I have a
didn't even put any,
question.
I didn't even put any lights in this model.
Right. Could you put
So,
enough
oh,
detail into it? So could you put enough detail in the walkthrough so that when you trip and fall down the stairs, we can see what that would look like?
I don't know. Could maybe try that. Uh,
No,
you'd probably have to
no,
set it up. Come on, it'd be fun. We should try that. Here's
no,
a.
not now. Spin the wheel.
I'm not going to do that now, but here's a sample walkthrough I did of a different project. Is this the one? Yeah, this is a little bit different. This is one I brought forward from an older plan.
That looks
I was
nice.
missing a few textures um, for like the golf screen. This was one of those golf rooms. See there, you got the golf
Oh,
room. There, I'm just kind of again. I'd spent literally 5 minutes doing this, just trying some stuff out. Here, I went up the stairs. I'm going to the second floor. Now I could pause at that railing and I could make my camera go down. I could have made my camera go down there and pause. So, and then it could have done, so I could have shown that a little better. But isn't that cool? I mean, it's really slick to use. So guys might want to learn to use that in X17. All right, we're running out of time. I love that new camera thing. It's really cool. 3D text. Apparently I didn't get rid of that. Isn't that again?
Bill, do
What
you
do I
have
got?
any examples of what you're talking about on your comment here? If you do, type them in so we can talk about them a little bit.
All right, quick tips for the project manager. Again, if you guys have any things you want to see or you want us to talk about, bring it up, please. All right, let's go back to Chief and the project manager. Let me close this window. Let me open the project browser. Okay, a couple of quick tips. You can add your own templates to the project browser. All right, so you got the plan template thing here. And again, you can make changes to those templates on the fly while you're working on other plans. Very slick. Then we've got the ability. What I've seen a lot of people do is they'll take their project and they want to do version 1, 2, 3, 4 of their project. So they'll go into the project and what was we're doing? They're exporting it. Oh no, I know what it was. So people want to go work on a different computer, or they're saving the project for someone else. They're creating a project so someone else can work on it, and then they want to bring it back to work on it on their computer. So they go File, Import, import a project. You go File, Import Project. Okay, so that when you export a project, Chief creates a file that ends with CAPROJ. CRPROJ, and that stands for Chief Architect Project File. And when you save a project file, Chief does a complete backup of everything related to that file, to that project. I actually like what it's doing. It's going to create some larger file sizes, so you just have to get used to that. So you could drop that, put that in a Dropbox. Someone could import that on their computer. And what happens is people will import it, and then they'll have demo project 2. And then they'll import it again, have demo project 3. And they'll import it in the demo project 4. So they're creating all these different project files. What I've been explaining to people is you got to think of this top level as, I'm going to just draw a picture of a folder because that's what it is. You know how on your computer, when you're storing plans, you're storing them in a situation where you're I keep them in my Dropbox. So I keep them by year. So I go to my Dropbox, and so I might have my projects for 25, and I have a client name for my projects. Okay. So look at there's your main folder. That's what a project is. Project is your main folder. So when you're importing a project back in, you're creating another main folder. So what I always tell people is just when you import, just drag those new files into your original project folder, and then get rid of the one you just imported, or vice versa. So that's another way to do it. So you might put the date in front of them like I did do here so that you can track your project versions that way, or give it a version number, however you want to keep track. But just keep in mind when you import a project back in, it's okay to move files around to your original project folder and you're done with it. So you just have to get that system in place to make that work. Another way to do it, if you want to just have a version 1, version 2, is you could create a new folder and call it, version 1, version 2, whatever you want to call it, and then make a copy of that plan put it in that folder. So now I got version 2 right here. Just name it V2 or put the new date on it or however you want to do it. So another, so you might go 25-10-03. So you put that in front of your file names. And now you put all the new stuff inside of there. And you can also copy with links to a new folder. So if you have all sorts of stuff going on, you got layout pages and things like that, and you want to copy everything, the layout and the plan and everything that goes with that. So what this would do is make a copy of all of those things and put it in a new folder, and then you could just name that version 2. So just use that right mouse button. There's a lot of options that you're going to run into as you work on these, and it's all right mouse sensitive. So keep that in mind. All right, we're just about out of time. Let me spin up one more time. We made it through a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Toolbar button images. This is kind of a silly one, but I'll show it anyway. So in X17, you can create your own toolbars now, and you can add your own icon to it. So I've created a toolbar, and I've added these functions to that toolbar. I don't do custom toolbars like a lot of people do. So it's pretty straightforward. So when I want to switch between different toolbars, I just do that, and then I want to get back to mine, I'll just do that. So the way you do that is you go to Customize Toolbars, and you go over to Configurations, and you now have an option here to choose an icon for that toolbar. And it can be a picture of your logo, a picture of whatever you want it to be.
So you could draw a cabinet. You could draw a cabinet with 3 drawers in it or something like that, and put that on there for an icon.
You could, and that would mean that that's your kitchen toolbar or your cabinet toolbar or whatever you want to do. So it's not creating a library object; it's creating it's icon added for that toolbar when you create.
But you could have that icon, that tool, go to a library object.
Yeah. All right. I was talk about a chief architect is from version 1.1 to version 27, but lately I'm trying to figure out why chief is doing things that are unintended in 3D and sometimes 2D.
We determined it's because he thinks it's because of his old age, right here. That's what I asked him about earlier. And that's how he responded. So
I
feel
look
your
at
pain, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it pain or is it fun? I'm still trying to figure that out. We kind of enjoy figuring out these new features that they keep adding, and kudos to Chief for coming up with some of this stuff. I don't know who thinks of this stuff back in their offices. They must have powwow sessions that they go, for a long time, and who knows what kind of funny stuff they might be smoking to come up with some of these ideas. But for the most part, I think they're doing a really, really nice job, and just keep giving us more and more tools that we can use to be more professional, make more money, have more services to offer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, we're here to get better and better, and that's what I think they keep doing. So anyway, you guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And we'll get this posted. This will be posted up, and if you have things you would like us to cover in the next designer show, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And again, we have classes coming up in December in Bloomington. We have the the Pro Academies available now, and check us out. So we're here to help. And I guess that's all I got today. Got anything you want to add, John?
I'm good.
All right, cool.
Looking forward to enjoying the fall here.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we've had really hot weather, so I think we're ready to go for cooling off a little bit.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.